Hello friend, I want to tell you about the Mercedes Vito W638 car. In addition to new diesel engines with common rail injection (CDI), subtle styling changes were introduced, limited only to replacing the orange indicator lamps with white ones. The first generation Vito was produced until 2003, when its successor appeared on the market. The car was recalled to authorized service centers twice, in 1998 due to tire problems, and in 2000 when a faulty auxiliary brake was repaired. As in the case of the Mercedes Vito Vito W639, finding a model with a petrol engine on the used car market is no challenge. It is true that engines powered by more refined fuel will certainly cause their owners significantly fewer problems in operation, but at the cost of significantly greater fuel consumption. No one who uses such a car for utility purposes at work will ever agree to this. So you only have two diesel engines to choose from. Which one is better in operation? Certainly not the 2.3-liter engine, in which not only does the injection system often fail, but there are also cases of premature V-belt failure and even head gasket burnout. The 2.2L unit is much less problematic, but there may also be problems with the injection system. In both engines, the glow plugs wear out quite quickly. Unfortunately, diesel engines clearly do not cope with efficient acceleration of the car, even the most powerful ones. Regardless of the version, in the Mercedes Vito W628, the drive is always transferred to the front axle wheels. Richer versions were equipped with air springs on the rear axle. Safety? The car did not take part in Euro NCAP crash tests, but considering the fact that most copies are already heavily corroded, the Mercedes Vito W638 certainly does not guarantee high level of safety. In addition to the delivery version, there was also a comfortable passenger version of the car on offer. If you are even a little or not interested in motoring at all, but you want to buy a Mercedes Vito W638, then you have probably heard what is the biggest problem with this model. Of course, it is the poor protection of the structure against corrosion. The ore appears literally everywhere here. The first blisters are usually found on the lower edges of the doors, the hood, the rear boot lid. Before you decide on a specific model, it is worth carefully examining the sills, the floor, and even, if possible, bending the door seals. If the car is rust-free, it probably has had some bodywork done. Most of the time, it was done quickly just to make the car look nice for sale. Be careful. There are also problems with electronics. In models with diesel engines, the glow plug relay fails. There are also frequent cases of damage to the starter, alternator, radiator fan, electric windows, or central locking. The thermostat is another part that you will have to replace. From time to time, the air conditioning system and the heater also have their moods. Gearbox rods and drive joints can also be unreliable. Before buying, be sure to check the operation of the side sliding doors, which tend to jam due to damaged guides. The steering gear is not very durable here and picks up play quite quickly. Mercedes Vito W638 users complain about the very low quality of the interior plastics, and they can make strange sounds while driving. The Mercedes Vito W638 is a potential candidate for an entrepreneur looking for a delivery van at a reasonable price. Unfortunately, in many cases, a low purchase price does not mean cheap operation. The prices of some parts can cost a fortune, although fortunately there are also cheaper substitutes on the market, but this does not apply to all components. If you come across a very rusty example, its repair may not be profitable. The main advantage of the Vito is, above all, the huge amount of space. Once upon a time, customers were attracted by its attractive appearance. However, the years have passed and the silhouette has already grown old. After all, in fact, in delivery vans, economy is much more important than interesting design. The Vito W638 models with diesel engines under the hood consume really small amounts of fuel, but unfortunately, they are not particularly durable, nor are they very dynamic. The very good driving properties deserve praise. What else can be faulted? First of all, the inefficient heating, the slippery gearbox, and the frequent breakdowns. In the case of many of them, the car is unable to drive on its own, ending up on a tow truck. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I haven't mentioned, be sure to write about them in the comments.